everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited with what I will be bringing you today. As you can tell by the title, this is all about my Cashmerette fit clinic experience. And for the experience, I chose the Upton dress. You all know I've mentioned on several occasions that the Cashmerette Upton dress is probably my most favorite pattern, only because it replicates a ready-to-wear dress that I had, which I'll put a picture here because this side is blurry, but I'll put the picture here of the ready-to-wear. I've since sold that on eBay, but at any rate, so let me start from the beginning. First of all, welcome to all my new subscribers. I have actually officially hit over 3,000 subscribers. So that is absolutely fantastic. That is awesome. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. And so, okay, let's get into the fit clinic experience. So this will be a longer video. So pause, come back, rewind, do whatever you got to do. But this will be a longer experience video because I want to tell you more about my experience. So the Cashmerette Fit Clinic experience. Jenny had sent out an email. Jenny Rushmore is the owner of Cashmerette Patterns, for those who were not aware. But she sent out an email to her list, letting people know that she was doing this fit clinic. So the fit clinic, the Cashmerette Fit Clinic, is one-on-one help with Jenny directly in getting the perfect fit on your Cashmerette pattern of your choice. And so when I saw the email, I was like, oh, that would be so lovely. I've been trying to fit this Upton forever. So let me go ahead and submit my information. And so voila, I submitted my information. It was, I want to say May 4th. And then I was notified. It was shortly thereafter. I can't remember the timeline of everything, but shortly thereafter, I was congratulated as being the first person as being selected to be in the Cashmerette Fit Clinic. So, yes, so exciting. You can only imagine my excitement. So getting to it. Why did I choose? Let me first answer the question. Why did I choose the Upton dress? I will again pop up some pictures. The very first Upton I ever made was for a gala for work last year in 2017. I'll put the picture. This is the raw picture. I'll show the pretty picture first where I had my shawl on. And, okay, but let's get to how that looked underneath. So here are my underneath, and what I'll do as I am talking is share with you pictures to try to line up with what I'm saying at the time. So if you don't see it right away, hold tight, it'll pop up. So what I'll hopefully be showing now are the real fit of that gala dress. And then I made it again in a red linen, and let me pop that up. I've since the gala dress I still have, because that was a kind of an expensive brocade. I'm going to use that for something else. I'll repurpose that. Now that is a fabric I will repurpose because it was quite expensive. But the red linen, I've since donated that. But as you can see from the red linen, the back and the side, and I kind of covered up the front, was a little puckery. So yeah, I kind of had my hands in the front, but in the back, there's definitely some issues and fit around the neckline. So I had to share those pictures with Jenny to let her see what I have had in the past, you know, and explain to her the sizes that I cut out and different things of that nature. So the clinic began, I have here in my notes, it started on May 4th and ended June 26th. So there was a lot of emailing back and forth. Essentially what was going on in this time frame was a lot of emailing back and forth with Jenny, with pictures, with updates of pictures of things she suggested that I do. So let's get into some of the things that took place. So I will not be sharing all of the muslins because I want to say 5 muslins. And keep in mind, I only did switched out the bodice. The skirt piece, I did not have any issues with. And so I didn't worry about that piece. It was all about getting the perfect fit. The other thing that was not highly important was the lining. Did not do the lining piece during the muslin because, again, we're trying to get that outer shell together, that fit together. And also the zipper. The zipper calls for an invisible zipper. Did not have to worry about doing the invisible zipper every time I did the muslin bodice. Again, we're trying to get the fit together as opposed to, you know, all the other little pretties that go along with it. The other thing I had to take into consideration was the bust. So when I think when I initially wore the other two dresses, I had on a different bra. But when I started, I think my final Upton or something like that, I had on a bra that was padded. I absolutely hate the bra, but it because I have enough tissue going on there. I don't need extra padding in the bra. But at any rate, that was the bra that I was doing the fitting process in, which my full bust is 49, but the padding added another 2 inches. I know, ridiculous. Don't worry, that's a whole nother video. But anyway, so yeah, that bra. So at any rate, for Cashmerette patterns, you use your full bust adjustment to determine which pattern size you go into. So I initially starting out, Jenny had me go to a switch from, because I think I was doing I might have been doing the EF or the CD cup. I can't remember. I didn't write that down. But she had me go with the GH, the 20 GH, because what was happening, if you remember in the pictures I just showed, there was a lot of room up in here is where the room was, around my shoulders, around my upper chest area, around the sleeves, arm side, and everything. That's where the room was happening. And then in the back, so I'll talk about that shortly. So what she had me do was grade out, and I just saved all of these for my own personal library, but I'll try to show it. She had me grade out. She sent detailed information on how to grade out. She had me grade from a 20 to a 22 around the dart area, and then right underneath the dart area, grade out to the 24 for the skirt. And so I did do that. And so based on where that was our starting mark. And so based on the starting mark and going back and forth with Jenny I had to take pictures. So my first muslin looked like this, and I will show some pictures here of how the first muslin looked. Again, I'm not going to share all the muslin pictures, but at least show you where I started out. And so from there was obviously some more things that need to take place. You saw the gaping in the neckline. You still saw there was some issues going on up here. And then the skirt piece, again, not a big deal. These aren't, the skirt and all that isn't sewn absolutely perfect, but again, pretty much sewn how it needs to be sewn. And so again, I went through about four or five muslins essentially. So and that's how I would describe the process. It was all through email, and I'm looking at my notes. And so the next part was I'm answering is how was the fitting process for me. And for me, again, it was a little daunting because my goal, as you all know, I've been following my channel since the start of 2018. My goal for 2018 was to get my fit right in my garments, not just to sew up a bunch of stuff, just to say I sew my own clothes, but to really sew items that look good on me, fit well, and draped nicely. So I knew that there were some areas I needed help in, but I just didn't know exactly how to do it. So for me, as I began the muslin process, I'm not one, I know people all the time are very great about, oh, you should read this blog, or you should get this book, read this book, and all of that. I am, first and foremost, I am a visual learner first. First, I'm a visual learner. So for those of you who struggle to read blogs and read books and things like that, don't beat yourself up about it. Do not beat yourself up about it. Realize that you are a visual learner first, and that is perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. And so for me, because we were going back and forth in email, you can only imagine when Jenny began to send me things to do. If she didn't, like, the picture is easy for me to follow. But then when she started sharing with me blog posts, I was like, oh, what? I don't get it. It just didn't click for me. I don't consider myself first off by reading the blog. It's just, I need to see it moving. I need to see some moving parts first, for some parts, not everything. And so, and as I began to take the pictures, send things back and forth, I had to do a lot of pinning because there was a lot of excess fabric in the back. The muslin, I think muslin 2, I can start rolling here. There was a lot of excess fabric in the back and different things still going on. My husband had to help kind of pin, and I use wonder clips a lot to kind of clip different areas to try to capture things. So after going back and forth a lot with Jenny, there was what I finally discovered, and this is what I absolutely loved about this process, and for me was the missing piece. In my fit journey so far in 2018, I don't inherently know just because stuff wasn't fitting, like from the very first picture wasn't fitting, there was all this room up here. Just because I saw that, I didn't know what it was called to fix it, to fix the problem. I didn't know inherently, you know, unless I watched a lot of YouTube videos, certain things I knew what it was called, but other things I was just like, well, I don't even know what that is. How do I fix that? It don't look right. It don't feel right, but I don't know what that is, and I don't know how to fix it. So Jenny was absolutely perfect in this area to put into words and provide help in fixing things. I just didn't know how. I didn't know how to put into words to fix it. And so what ended up happening after going through all of these iterations, here are the adjustments I had to make. I had to make a gapping back neckline adjustment, which that is very typical for me, because I've had gaping neckline issues forever. You guys know that. And so, okay, that's called the gapping back neckline adjustment. I also had to make a sloping shoulder adjustment. Again, I knew there were some issues, and this doesn't matter if it's knit or woven. I've always had issues with it seemed to go over my shoulder bone. But I really didn't know what that was called, or is that something I fixed, or, you know, what's that? And so I had the sloping shoulder. Another thing, swayback. I always have that issue no matter what I make. I always have that excess fabric in the back. And so, and I knew of the swayback adjustment. I just didn't really comprehend and know how to do it. Again, learned that. I also needed to lower the waistline. That wasn't a big deal. I've done that before. I have since learned that the normal adjustments I've been making on my waistlines, when I lengthen them, don't have to be as much. I can get away with, it looked like between 3/8 and 1 inch of increasing the length on the bodice pieces. And then I had to make a forward shoulder adjustment, because what was happening was, and you probably can't, oh yeah, you can see, can you see? That lines up perfectly with my bone there, that seam, right? Before it was was it too far back, or no, yeah, forward, yeah. Going too far back and had to do the forward shoulder adjustment. And so trust me when I say, when I realized as we were going through this process, this was so overwhelming for me, because again, I'm having to redo the muslin of the bodice, taking out the zipper, putting in the zipper, you know, in the different bodices. It was just a lot. However, at the end of the day, it was absolutely perfect. And again, because I'm a visual learner, some of the blog posts that Jenny sent over, and I will share those with you towards the end here, and I will put the links down below. for them, for those who are interested. So for me, because I am a visual learner, a lot of this was a little overwhelming. Some things I was able to Google and find a video through YouTube, or just find something on YouTube to something very similar, and then I would, you know, go from there. And then also I have I have 2 fitting books, so that also helped me during this process. The one book I have, I know it's not as easily accessible, but the Fit for Real People book has also helped me during the process, where I was also able to go to pages in the book, and I will share page numbers. If you have this book, if you don't have it, I do have a link down below on Amazon, but you can get this book. Check your library if you just want to check it out to see what it's like, or look half-price bookstores online. Like I said, I'll have it linked below on Amazon down below. And so the other thing I want to answer, is there anything about the process you would have liked to have done differently? Other than being in front of Jenny personally, no, there was nothing else a part of the process that I would change. I am happy with the process. The skills and techniques that I have learned throughout this process is invaluable. Again, I knew I needed these adjustments. I just didn't know what it was called. Somebody to point to it and say, oh, you need to do that, and this is how you do it. Not just telling me, go read this, and this is what you need to do, but here's what you need to do. This is why you need to do it, and this is how you do it. You know, it's kind of the whole package, as opposed to just little bits and pieces. And so those things that I have learned from the process gave me this final muslin look, which was perfect. Now, that fabric I was using is a real thin, like cottony. It's not the best quality, so it wrinkled a lot, and yeah. But anyway, that the final fit was perfect, and so that was my final muslin. And then from there, Jenny was like, go ahead and do your fashion fabric, and then send her pictures and my write-up and thoughts and everything. So I did that, and this is the final. And I will show pictures because you won't be able to really see it here. But this is the final. And as you can tell, and the thing is, this fabric, let me tell you about this fabric. Okay, this is a fabric I got from Joann Fabrics, and it is a cotton. It's 100% cotton, no stretch at all, but it seemed to have stretched in some way. I don't know if that makes sense. So that's the inside. I did a bias bound hem there, but that's the outside. Is purple. What I made this for, and I'll pop up pictures as I'm talking, but I made this for an event. I was vending at my business, and so I wanted to wear something me made both days. And so the day of vending, the actual vending day, I wore this dress. And so you'll see pictures of me in it. But here it is. It's very pretty. I'm going to take it off and show you the inside, because there's a couple things. Can you tell? I got to squint. You should see a white line going down the middle. I'll tell you what that is. But the fit, no, bunching of fabric back here. It just drapes nicely. Armhole, everything. No gaping neck. Can you see? Hopefully you can see that. No gaping neck. Fits absolutely perfect. Let me jump out of this, and then I'll wrap up with with my checklist for adjustments. So, I jumped out of it so I can show you the inside. So this entire experience was absolutely phenomenal. What I know it's a lot. So for those who are on their fitting journey, if you're like me, you're a visual learner at first, and then you can probably read a blog or a book and kind of fill in the gaps and things begin to make sense. Just know that's the type of learner that you are, and that's perfectly okay. So you'll have to decide in your own fit journey how much of this process you want to dive into, because I will not lie, it is a lot, and it was very overwhelming for me. However, after it was all said and done, I now created myself, and this may change as I continue to lose weight, but I have some of the normal adjustments that I would do. So my sloping shoulder is about 1/4 inch. My forward shoulder is about 1/4 inch. My waistline is anywhere between 3/8 to 1 inch. My sway back will probably be, I take out a lot, between probably 1.5 to 2, depending on the bodice. Yes, up to 2 inches. My arm side, I've measured my arm side, so I got the perfect arm side fit with the Upton, so I did measure all of that. And then my gaping neckline is probably going to be around 1 to maybe 1.25 inch on each side. And so that is what I have here that I will always have out now when I'm doing bodices. Now again, yes, the Upton is a fitted bodice. Will I have to do all those adjustments for every single bodice? No. I do notice after I went through this process and I had like knit dresses that I wore, the sway back I need to do because there's a lot of fabric back there. The forward and sloping shoulder I will have to do, even on the knits. And so arm side maybe not so much, but those waistline for sure. I usually always have to do something with my waistline. So there are some of these that I'll have to do no matter what. For those fitted, absolutely, I'm gonna have to measure the flat pattern piece, see what I need to do, make my adjustments before I cut out. But at least I know what I need to do now going forward. So let me share with you some of the alterations. The Swayback blog that she shared with me is by Maria Denmark, and this is Swayback alteration. So I will leave the link down below. Also, if you have the Fit for Real People book and you want to just jump to the book, go right ahead. In the book, it starts talking about the sway back adjustments on page 127. The sloping shoulder alteration blog she shared with me, that is by Soista Fashionista, and the sloping shoulder in the Fit for Real People book is on page 160. Okay. The alterations fixing a tight or gaping back neckline. This was through a, I want to say by hand London blog post. I'll link it below. But there's 2 methods in here. One is 2 different ways you can do it. So you'll have to figure out which way you want to do it. Mine, the method I chose was doing the spreading from the neckline down to the waist and then making my adjustment that way. And that'll make sense when you read that. I didn't look that one up in the book, but I'm Fit for Real People will have that. And then forward shoulder adjustment. This was by Maria Denmark again. And the forward shoulder adjustment can be found on page 162 in the Fit for Real People book. So I printed off all the blog posts and then I tried to cross-reference to the Fit for Real People book, just so I have some additional information, because Fit for Real People will then go into other little things you need to take in consideration if this happened after you make that adjustment. So it's good to have a fitting book so it goes along with the blog post, because the blog post, you can make an adjustment and it affects something else that you might not necessarily wanted it to affect. At least the book will show you, explain, okay, if that happened, then this happened, then you need to consider this. So that is essentially it. That was my experience. It was absolutely phenomenal. It was a daunting process. You guys know I really did so much in June, and this is why, because I had to do this, after work, so I didn't have a whole heck of a lot of time, and then our weekends was pretty busy. So let me show you the dress, and let me pause here and say, if anybody is interested in seeing a visual, I want to help my visuals out there. If you are interested in me doing the video on these 4 techniques, the gaping back neckline, the sloping shoulder, the sway back, and the forward shoulder adjustment, please let me know that in the comments below, and I will do that. Caveat, I am not an expert. Your experts are Peggy Sagers with Silhouette Patterns, Sure Fit Designs, Soda Fit, Andrea with Soda Fit, and countless others that I'm sure Diane Diesel, I'm probably saying her name wrong. Those are your experts. Those are your top-notch experts, and there's others that I'm forgetting, but those are your experts. And so if you want like expert advice on all of that, go to their channel. But if you just want to see a layman's, just a girl trying to figure this thing out process and how she managed to get it done, let me know in the comments down below, and I will most certainly do a video on these different techniques, because like I said, most of those I have to do for all of my patterns, be it a knit or a woven, depending on the fit and drape of that garment. So here it is, and I have to wash it. So I dropped food down the front somewhere, but anyway, so let me show you this. It's supposed to be a invisible zipper, and it might most certainly look like it's possible, but can you guess what that white strip is? Yes, for those who guessed correctly, ding ding ding. I use the tape that you can lay down, and then lay down the zipper. Yeah, that's what that is. So when I wash this, you won't see that anymore. That'll go away because it's washable. The other thing is my dart. Next time I'm gonna finish my dart off just a tad bit lower, because with this here, if you can, let me see if I can show it to you, it don't lay absolutely flat. So if it lays flat, see, I don't have to take off that much. What's that, about half an inch? I'll have to take off, and I'll stop my dart right there, because I really didn't need to take the dart all the way up to that point. What else? The back, everything is just beautiful. The what do you call it? The waistband, can you tell? The waistband lined up. You probably can't, because this fabric is I love this fabric. The inside, you know, the bodice on the Upton is lined. For those who don't know, maybe you don't know, but it is lined. So I did slip stitch it all the way around. I did not do in the ditch, because I've tried that a couple times on this pattern, and it just don't work for me to do the sewing in the ditch. It's better just to do the slip stitching all the way around. It's not perfect, because I'm still not very good at that. For whatever reason, I always forget, you know, when you do the zipper part, that center back seam, I always forget to serge this edge. And so that's the only part that's not serged in here. But I did finish off the bottom with bias binding tape. I used black on that. I had like a purplish pink, but I decided to go with the black. There's nothing else. There's nothing, you know, because the top is lined. And that's all I got. That's how the zipper look on the inside. But that is it. That is my assessment. That is my review from the Cashmerette Fit Clinic. It was absolutely a wonderful process. I learned so much. Again, yes, it is a lot to go through to get a good fit, but you know, why am I making my clothes? I could still, if I just wanted ill-fitting clothes, I can just keep buying ready to wear, right, and just work with that. But I'd rather have things that I create for myself fit well. And so it's still an evolving process for me. And like I said, I'm willing to share how I got through the whole process with the fitting. And actually, let me show you the back bodice piece. But how did I figure out how much to take out in that sway back? You'll see that in the directions too, but you have to pin it on you, and then mark, see that line? And this is all wrinkled because I think this is a wash away. and I didn't want to, or if I ironed it, it would have, the marking I think would have went away on this one. But see how much that's a quarter, that's 1.25 inches, and I really could have did 1.5 inches, maybe, yeah, or 3/4. But yeah, so it's the process, guys. That is the process. So again, if you're interested in me doing the individual videos, I most certainly will. And I'll share those. If I do that series, I'll probably wait and do that series in August, towards the end of August, and then show you from there. But anyway, that is all I got. Thank you for tuning into this video. I know it was a long one, but it was a very, very good process. I'm very happy with the final results, and Jenny is absolutely phenomenal. You see why I absolutely love her patterns. I already loved her patterns anyway. I'm not an ambassador or nothing like that, but to have the opportunity to go through the fit clinic, working directly with Jenny one-on-one, was absolutely phenomenal. So that is it. Thank you, everybody. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I will see you in the next video. Guess who has their July makes ready in the last Sunday of July to show you? Me. So you'll see that next Sunday. All right, everybody, have a good one. Bye.